Earlier this week, Washington announced that they were officially retiring their racist team name. Here are other teams that have also undergone a rebrand without moving cities. How's it going, everybody? It's Devin Howard. If you're not following me on Instagram, you should go do that now. I'm there as @DevinHoward. Subscribe to the Fumble, tap the bell for notifications, and hit the thumbs up. After years and years of pressure from fans and Native American communities, Washington has decided to change their team name. The decision came about after their sponsors started pulling out and threatening to terminate their partnerships if the name wasn't changed. This is long overdue and something worth celebrating, but it is a little disheartening to know that the decision only happened because sponsors were threatening to pull out. But I guess you can't really expect anything else. Washington is not the first team to undergo a name change without moving cities. Here are 7 other teams that have ditched their racist roots in favor of something more politically correct. In 2003, Ole Miss revealed the retirement of their mascot, Colonel Reb. The Southern Gentleman mascot had ties to the Old South, and the university wanted to distance itself from that era, rightfully so. They tested out Rebel the Bear for a few years before settling on Tony the Land Shark in 2017. Middle Tennessee State University used to be represented by a mascot that was deeply offensive. In 1950, the school began incorporating Confederate General Nathan Bedford Forrest into school branding. Students would dress up like the general and ride on horseback. In 1962, the school removed Forrest's name from the mascot but continued to use a Confederate soldier as their representative. They ended up testing out new mascots multiple times through the 60s, 70s, and 80s while also incorporating infantry regalia. Now their mascot is Lightning, a much more palatable bright blue horse. Though it may not seem like it, the Cleveland Indians used to have an even worse team name. They previously used a mascot called Chief Wahoo. It was an inappropriate and racist depiction of a Native American and reduced a rich, meaningful culture to nothing more than caricature. They used Chief Wahoo on merchandise up until 2018. Now they simply have an inappropriate team name and that's all. But I'm hoping they change that pretty soon. I think their time's coming. The Atlanta Braves have switched up their logo multiple times throughout the team's history. Their first logo was a side profile of a Native American warrior. Then they switched to a Native American brave with a feather headdress. Now the Braves use script text that sits on top of a tomahawk logo. It's not great. Native American culture isn't meant to be used for mascotry. Though they've tried to improve things a bit, they still have some work to do. The Stanford Cardinals used to be the Stanford Indians from 1930 until 1972. The prestigious university changed their name and mascot after meeting with Native American students who felt that the mascot was insulting to their heritage. Now Stanford uses a much more peaceful tree for their mascot, and that is something I can get behind. Now we're talking about the local university in my hometown, San Diego State. In 2018, the university announced that they would be changing their mascot. Prior to that, they used Monty the Aztec Warrior to hype up fans before games. While the school is still making use of the Aztec name, they're using a more culturally sensitive mascot. He's now a spirit leader instead of a warrior, and it's still not ideal. Finally, we have the Golden State Warriors. The team has not been immune to criticism in the past. Back in 1946, the team came together as the Philadelphia Warriors, and they used a caricature of a Native American dribbling a basketball as their icon. It stayed this way until 1962 when they decided to start using a headdress logo before they moved to San Francisco and used the Golden Gate Bridge instead. It's always great to see teams become more culturally sensitive, but there's still obviously a lot of work that needs to be done in my opinion. But back to the Washington team, what do you think they'll go with for their new team name? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell. I'm Devin Howard for the Fumble, and I'll see you later.